So let's start learning about human origins. Monkeys and apes are primates, a lineage of mammals that arose 85 million years ago. Chimpanzees are the closest relatives or sister group to humans. Apes are estimated to have diverged from monkeys between 29 and 34 million years ago. Hominines, humans of the genus Homo and their ancestors, diverged from chimpanzees between 7 and 7.5 million years ago. The ancestors of our species, Homo sapiens, arose in Africa and from there migrated to colonize the globe. This chapter explores the nature of the evidence that documents humans' evolution and migration out of Africa. The many fossil species non present, the problem of how to identify, separate, and relate the numerous species of bipedal primates. Existence of numerous species in the genus Homo and numerous species of the earlier southern apes of Africa, like Australopithecus, provide the evidence that more than one lineage of hominins, among which humans nest, has existed in Africa. So, enlarged brains, the ability to walk and run upright on their hind limbs, like bipedalism, speed, language, and highly developed social organization characterize the lineage that results in humans. The manufacture and use of tools pre existed the origin of our species. Analysis of the various lines of available evidence supports that hypothesis that the evolution of bipedalism was the driving force behind other changes in the human lineage, including the evolution of humans as hunter or gatherers. So, primates, a rapid survey of 85 million years of evolution. This section serves as a summary of primate evolution, types of primates, and the lineages of bipedal primates discussed in this chapter. So, primates, a group of order of mammalia comprising lemurs, tarsiers, monkeys, chimpanzees, and other apes, arose some 85 million years ago. Which is represented with the help of this figure. All primates share large brains, a grasping hand, then stereoscopic vision, along with social organization. The 400 species of living primates range in body size from the smallest lemur, 30 gram, about 1 oz, to the largest gorillas, 227 kilogram, 500 lums. So, primates are classified within two monophyletic lineages that diverged about 77 million years ago in late Cretaceous period. Wet-nosed primates like strepsirrhines and small-bodied nocturnal active at night lemurs of Madagascar and lorises of Africa and Southeast Asia, along with dry-nosed primates like Haplorhynus, are classified into three lineages: New World monkeys, Old World monkeys, and apes. The first bipedal primates and the earliest hominins are represented by two African species like Ororin dugenensis and Ardipithecus cadaba, which are 6 or 5.5 old representatively, and slightly more recent species in the genera. Southern apes show long bone changes indicative of predominant bipedal locomotion and modification in the teeth and jaws slight significantly changing diet, as the brain of Australopithecines was no longer than the brain of the earliest bipedal hominins. We can conclude that increase in brain size followed the origin of bipedalism. Although this reads like an obvious conclusion, the issue has been contentious. The earliest fossils of the genus Homo, which are 2.4 to 2.5 million years old, have brains much larger than those of the Australopithecines. Four African species are estimated to have existed between 2.4 and 1.6 MIA, and Homo ergaster is regarded as having given rise to Homo erectus, the dominant hominin species at the time. Homo erectus may have persisted in Southeast Asia until 600,000 to 700,000 years ago, and in Java until only 50,000 years ago. By the 500,000 years ago, sufficient evolutionary change had accumulated that three new species can be identified, like Homo heidelbergensis, then Homo helmei, and Homo rhodesiensis. This may be forerunners of species known as anatomically modern humans like Homo sapiens, which first appear as fossils in Ethiopia, and populations of anatomically modern human expanded rapidly, spreading in multiple migrations from Africa to Europe, Asia, and then to the New World. The out of Africa hypothesis discussed below. This is thought that Homo heidelbergensis gave rise to Homo neanderthalensis in Europe about 250,000 years ago. Netherlands persisted in Spain and Gibraltar as late as 24,000 years ago, leading to suggestions that they could have coexisted with Homo sapiens. Then chimpanzees and humans. African apes, particularly chimpanzees, share many features with humans, which is shown with the help of this figure. Chimpanzees have many behavioral traits once thought unique to humans, including tool use and modifications, planning, organized aggression, and complex social networks. So this picture, a phylogenetic tree and dates of divergence for humans, great apes, and old world monkeys based on DNA hybridization studies. So here we could see human, Homo sapiens, chimpanzee, pan, troglodytes, pygmy chimpanzee, gorilla, orangutan, common gibbon, then siamang, then old world monkeys, and millions of years ago. Graphical representation of this phylogenetic tree. Later, this figure shows species from the fossil record identified as hominins grouped into grades and plotted in relation to their estimated or known ages. Abbreviations for genera are shown, and this is very important. Later, various living representatives of primates as traditionally represented, like human, chimpanzee, gorilla, orangutan, gibbon, New World monkeys, Old World monkeys, tarsiers, galago, New World monkeys, lemur, like haplurini primates, then strepsirini, etc. can be seen. Phylogenetic analysis based on large data sets, 43 nuclear and 15 mitochondrial genes, placed chimpanzees as the sister group to modern humans. Humans are distinguished from other hominoids by adaptations for bipedal locomotion on the ground, like shorter arms in relation to leg length, an enlarged brain, shortened fingers, and opposable thumbs. The two extant species of chimpanzees found in equatorial Africa are the common chimpanzee, Pan troglodytes, and are more slender and lightly built, Bonobo, Pan paniscus. Individuals average 32 to 45 kg. on weight depending on species and sex. Both species have complex social structures and hierarchies reflected in their large social groups up to 120 individuals. We could expect to find substantial genetic differences between humans and chimpanzees. The DNA and protein sequences of chimpanzees and humans differ by around 5%. 4%, 4 base pairs out of every 100. So, by comparison, individual humans differ only in one base pair out of 1000, like 0.001%. This differences along with changes in gene regulation underlie the features that allow us to distinguish humans from other apes. Those features include the comparative lengths of human fore and hind limbs, the larger human brain, absence of a protruding face, enlarged sexual dimorphic canine teeth, and sparse body hair. As chimpanzees are our closest relatives, much effort has gone into comparing the morphology, genetics, and behavior of humans and chimpanzees with the aim of determining when the two lineages diverged. Molecular data shown in this earlier picture. Like this one. Place the divergence at 7.5 MYA, only a little earlier than the divergence at 7 MYA indicated by the fossil record. Like this one. A recent analysis involving the alignment of 20 million base pairs of the genomes of 5 primate species places the divergence at 6 MYA. While chromosomes have diverged enormously between chimpanzees and humans, while this is not surprising, it is interesting that the divergence occurred through gene loss in chimps, gene gain in humans, and chromosomal rearrangement in both lineages. Finally, 447 microRNAs discussed elsewhere in this text found in the human genome are not found in the chimp group genome, providing evidence for independent genomic evolution at the level of gene regulation. So this picture shows classification of Homoidea according to evolutionary systematics and cladistics for easy identification. And one other important point, what's in a name? Hominids and hominins. For many decades, apes and humans have been known collectively as hominoids. HOMINOIDS. It has become increasingly clear, however, that humans and African apes, particularly chimpanzees, are more closely related to one another than they are to other apes, and that chimpanzees are the sister groups to closest relatives of humans. As the diversity of fossil species demonstrating the relationships between humans and the great apes increased, many paleoanthropologists saw that the traditional classification of humans and our closest relatives was inadequate and inconsistent. For this reason, the cladistic classification has gained favor in recent years. So, unfortunately, in the presence of sorting out hominoid relationships, older terms have been given new meanings, which is always confusing. Great apes and humans are now referred to as hominids, HOMINIDS, family Hominida in traditional classification. The term previously used for extinct humans and their closest extinct relatives. Then humans and their closest extinct relatives are hominins, family Hominini, like hominins, HOMININS. When paleoanthropologists use the term hominin in the recent literature, they mean the same thing as hominid in older literature. At stake is more than terminology. This change reflects our shifting view of relationships between this portion of the tree of life. In classification, humans and our closest extinct relatives belong to the type Hominini at taxonomic level between subfamily and genus. The two other types are Pacini or Pani for chimpanzees and Gorillae for the gorillas. Then we could see this picture which shows body contours and proportions of adult male great apes, chimpanzees, and humans with all hair removed, drawn to the same scale. Later, next topic, the earliest hominins from fossil evidence dated between 5 and 6.5 MYA. We know that a number of forms of hominin were competing for ground dwelling habitats and developing the features of bipedalism required for a ground dwelling existence. Two bipedal species of hominins from this time have been discovered, like Ororin tugenesis has hind limb features indicating that it was bipedal when on the ground, but four-limb features indicating that it also lived in trees. With an estimated occurrence between 6.1 and 5.8 MYA, the chimpanzee-sized oronin is the second oldest putative hominin. Like putative because experts disagree on where to place oronin, and dated to about between 5.8 and 5.2 MYA. The second species, Ardipithecus kadaba, is younger than this Ororin tugenesis. Clearly dating fossils is important when attempting to determine position within a lineage. The species is regarded as having been bipedal, but fossil evidence other than from the skull is minimal. A third species like Sahelanthropus tadansis, known from rhenium and fragments of jaws and teeth, had a brain estimated at 340 to 360 centimeter cube compared to 1120 to 1260 cm cube in modern humans. Where the species was bipedal is unclear. Lack of post-cranial material makes comments on mode of locomotion premature. The large opening, foramen magnum, at the base of the skull provides indirect evidence for bipedalism. The head was held upright, dated to between 6.5 and 7.4 MYA. If bipedal, this species would be the earliest known putative hominin. Of the three species, A. kadaba has more features in common, shares more derived features with later Australopithecines. However, the presence of large canine teeth, which is a more basal feature, and its age of occurrence makes this Ardipithecus difficult to position in the hominian lineage. Then Australopithecines, the southern apes of Africa. Continued exploration of human origins takes us into a group of apes known as Australopithecines, the southern apes of Africa. Australopithecines radiated has at least 8 lineages between 2.4 and 4.5 MYA. A Pliocene species from East Africa, Australopithecines boisei, is the largest of the Australopithecines. Its large molar teeth and powerful jaw muscles are interpreted as reflecting a diet of seeds and fruits with hard husks and pods. Three species in two genera are of special interest. The discussion that follows is centered on origins of genera and three major evolutionary changes like bipedalism, brain size, and tool use. Either approach or indeed other approaches are equally valid ways to tell the study of human evolution. So earlier we have mentioned about putative. So putative means that the fossil record is sparse, but given the evidence available, recognized as an earliest known hominin ancestor. Later, Ardipithecus ramidus, the earliest Australopithecus fossil, currently known mostly as teeth, and the most ape-like hominin ancestor known as Relesus of the Ethiopian species and genus named Ardipithecus ramidus, dated to between 4.3 and 4.5 MYA. Ramidus shares relationships with Australopithecus afarensis and with extant great apes, especially chimpanzees. Links between A. ramidus, like Ardipithecus ramidus, and Australopithecus were based on teeth alone until a suite of 11 papers and accompanying news reviews reporting reconstruction of a skeleton was published in 2009. Then next, Australopithecus afarensis. Fossils from East African sites at Tanzania and the Afar Hadar region of Ethiopia, estimated as 3.9 to 3 MY old, are classified as Australopithecus afarensis, a species with heavy brow ridges and a low forehead. Despite such ape-like features, this displays a large number of important cranial, dental, and skeletal differences from apes. For example, although the canines are larger in this afferences in male than in females, the sexual dimorphism is much more pronounced than in apes or early Miocene chimp, gorilla, or orangutan-like fossils. We can draw these conclusions because of a substantial record of this species, including the most complete skeleton of a muscular 1 to 1.2 m tall bipedal female known as Lucy. Lucy now can be compared with the skeleton of a large, fully upright 1.5 to 1.7 m tall bipedal male of this species discovered in Ethiopia and dated to 3.6 MYA. Fossil footprints preserved under a layer of 3.7 MY old volcanic ash records the bipedal gait of two individuals over a distance of about 21 meters. While the recent discovery of a complete fourth metatarsal bone demonstrates that this species had the highest arch and was capable of the striding gait seen in modern humans. Then, next one, Australopithecus africanus. From a historical perspective, a skull and lower jaw found in 1912 in England set the stage for what an early hominin should look like. But that specimen, Piltdown man, had not been deposited by the usual modes of fossilization. It was a fake. So, the story of the discovery of authentic early hominin fossils began in 1925 when the anthropologist Raymond Dart reported an early hominin fossil from the lime quarry at Tung in the Cape province of South Africa. Like, the fossil consisted of the front part of the skull and most of the lower jaw of a 6-year-old who would become known as Tung child, like Taung child. It is shown with the help of this picture. Dart named the new species Australopithecus africanus. Aspects of the teeth and brain were more like humans than They were like other apes. Adult Australopithecine skulls dated to between 2.45 and 3 MYA were discovered in the 1940s at some regions not far from this region of tongue. Then further discoveries of postcranial skeletal material reinforced the human-like nature of the vertebral column and pelvic girdle. Many more expeditions over the past 70 years have revealed more and even older Australopithecines species. The latest, published in 2010, represents one of the most complete hominins uncovered. A. sediba, dated at 1.95 to 1.78 MYA, has the small brain, long arms, and body form of chimpanzee, but fingers, thumb, and regions of the brain that are more like humans. Because Homo arose just over 2 million years ago, it is tempting to see A. sediba as the last of the Australopithecines, or even of the line that gave rise to over a 2 to 2.5 million year period between 2.5 and 4.5 MYA. These important finds and the conclusion that all known early Australopithecines were bipedal allow us to conclude that the human genus Homo had an immediate ancestor that was bipedal. Other features that characterize Homo evolved after bipedal locomotion arose. Lest the conclusions read as if they are final or as if all agree, interpreting the evolution of bipedal locomotion is complex. Why? Because bipedality may have arisen more than once. Australopithecines were actively arboreal and terrestrial, a duality reflected in their bipedal locomotion, which differed functionally and so could have been derived independently from bipedalism in humans. With the help of next video, we are going to learn about bipedalism and brain size hypothesis about early human evolution. Thank you for listening.